Okay, so something to share on this journey, the wisdom of our journey. James Baldwin said, "The longer I live, the more deeply I learn that love, whether we call it friendship or family or romance, is the work of mirroring and magnifying each other's light." And it's in the daytime, we can be indifferent about light. But when it get dark, light becomes ever more important. It's always important, but when it's dark, sometimes it brings additional focus, additional awareness. And that's, one of the gifts that can happen. Deeper awareness, deeper inquiry. And in fearful times, there's a call for disruption. Fear kills awareness. I'm now again. I want to be different. There's what I call aware. There is awareness. We all on the Serengeti plain because everybody here got an African mama. So we was on the Serengeti and we was looking around to see what was happening. How would we be? How can we get home? And that's awareness. That's not nobody's. And I'm not trying to call in fear, right? That's awareness because you are present. That bush is over there, even though it wasn't shaking last time I walked this way. What's over there? Maybe it's a little creature, and maybe it's something that wants me for dinner. I'm not talking about that. Talking about what some people call chronic fear, which this society supports 24/7, 365, keeping you in a state of agitation. I don't even know what's wrong, but I know something's wrong. Something's wrong all the time, you know. And if it's okay in this square I'm in, I need to be checking for what's coming for me shortly. And that wears us out. That wears us out. And so it kills memory, right? Because I'm breathing without a tube in my nose at the moment. Everything's not hurting. Some stuff may be hurting, but everything, maybe an eyelash isn't hurting. Maybe that little toe's not hurting. But mostly I have discovered it kills the memory of I got here now. This practice for me is not just the present moment, but it's also connecting it to the moments that allow me to be here right now. The support, the ocean of compassion that got me here right now. It supports our interconnectedness. I'm drinking water. Did I go to the well and get it? No. Some people I don't know and may never met. Some people, some human beings that may feel a kind of way about this or that. But I have water because of that. Flipping on switches. Did I forget the time I looked at the abyss and didn't jump in? Did I forget the time that I felt so broken, but evidently didn't break because I'm here? Or I didn't break sufficiently that I was not able to put them pieces together? And what is the wisdom of that? We know that many of the people that brought these practices to the West were therapists. I love my therapists. I got some beloved who are therapists. I'm not throwing shade. However, when you walk in the room, you got to talk about what's wrong. Because that's why I'm paying you these $14.15. Because the therapists I pay, no, don't get much money. I mean, there's some folks at the top that, you know, are doing good. But most of these folks are in situations where they got 1,500 clients in 2 hours to get everybody straight. So, so we got to get to what the problem is. But for me, the wisdom, we not just living to be, pearls of present moment, or awareness like diamonds on the hand. That's my awareness. Where's your awareness? My awareness is bigger than your awareness. It's what's the wisdom? What did we learn? And that we here. I'm here, you there. Something got us here other than mistakes, other than regrets, other than how we didn't measure up. If there was, using the language of the colonizer, you know, it wasn't just, it was the rightness, because we here. That means we right. Whatever condition we in, we right. But so what is the wisdom? Well, obviously, and I'm going to say obviously, sometimes in these spaces we need to let go of conditional language. Okay, gravity is a thing. All right, do we have to say your gravity or my gravity? Your gravity might be different from my gravity. Yeah, okay. But obviously, we develop some discernment. Because central to that wisdom, at least my wisdom path, I had to develop some trust in myself. I got into some really tough situations and allowed some really horrible things and did some horrible things because I didn't trust myself. There can be no wisdom without trust of ourselves. And it's not concrete. I know some of us have been abused by other people's wisdom, but there can be no abuse if there is wisdom. The teacher or the minister or the priest or the rabbi or whoever it is, or the elected official or non-elected official. So what have I learned? What have you learned in this journey to this moment? And how can it support us in this moment? In this current, for some, new political shit show. Please say for some. And acknowledge that. Maybe, we can look at them people that we were taught to look at crazy because they got to be crazy. Why that woman so loud? Why is she hollering in the street? Why are these black women talking so loud? Why they got their hands on their hips? Why that man walking down the middle of the street? Why does he have a skirt on? Maybe in this moment we can say, oh, maybe that's why she was shouting so loud. Maybe the discernment is to listen more deeply and more closely to the fact that we both hear the woman is shouting in the middle of the street, and me, we both hear. So what do we both know? Perhaps let go of forgetfulness and remember, I wasn't quite naked in the middle of the street, but I don't know, did somebody other than me come close? The wisdom of the journey at this moment for me is the shamelessness that got me here. Because so much of the fear is I don't want to see it, I don't want to know it, not about me, and certainly not about you. But mostly not about me. Can I, for the Virgos out there, can I shamelessly say, yes, I alphabetize the beings in my shelf? What? Can we say to the Cancers out there, I look at an email now and then. What? People that know me got my phone number. And maybe in that shamelessness, maybe I look a little bit more. Maybe I know I don't have to alphabetize everything. For all the folks out there that I don't want to get out of bed, you know, yeah, I don't want to get out of bed. What? There's a lot of people that can't get out of bed. What the wisdom says is the delusion of separation is the poison that fed me all my life. That I was the onlyest one. And come to find out, nobody is the onlyest one. At its core. Everybody's doing their version of alphabetizing, peeking at emails, not getting out of bed. All of us. Can we remember the wisdom of our journey at this time that's calling us to be ever, ever more fearful? And I want to speak up for those in my lineage. It's like getting hit by a car 47 times in a row and people looking at you going, what's wrong? I want to speak for the letter people. I want to speak for or to the experience of women I know. Why are you crying? Those that have been abused, that happened a long time ago. Why are you still focusing on that? Why are you trying to upset the family? We are not the only ones being told that bullshit. We are not by ourselves in the sense of wrongness. And if you are part of many of those groups, the wisdom of my journey says have a protection practice. Because these people will tell you shit is chocolate and then get mad at you when you point out, is it supposed to have flies around it though? Or even when you don't, you maybe not notice anything, but just say no thank you. The wisdom of my journey says in times like these, and the times like these is when, for no particular reason, my heart wants to speed up. I've been in bed all day and I'm still yawning. The wisdom of my journey is to say, yeah. I love that song I played, The Other Side by Gil Scott-Heron, because basically he's saying people don't know my life. People don't know your life. I don't care how crazy it looks, how organized it looks. We know what's going on. If we allow ourselves to know what's going on. And the home we need to return to, the home I've needed to return to again and again, is them beloved ancestors of my lineage up there in my altar of Fannie Lou Hamer. You know, her birthday's coming up, her death day. Why are you trying to leave the plantation? I'm going to fire you. I'm going to put your family in the risk of starvation because you've decided you're a human being. The wisdom of my journey is the wisdom my grandmother, Bertha Lovett Evans, passed to me. You can't make a deal with the devil because he never keeps his word. Not never, not never. Doesn't mean you don't be skillful because I'm here. Obviously, Mama and them were skillful, but understand that that amputation of memory, of health, of sanity, offer it to them. Stop sleeping with the person you like because people don't like the person you sleeping with, or want to make you sleep with people you don't want to sleep with, or you need to be sleeping with somebody. Whatever that is, whatever that you need to. And if you do this, then things will get easier. If you do this, it'll be smooth. You're going to sleep better. You're not going to be afraid. You're not going to. In my journey, I did some serious amputation. That's how you're a lesbian with 4 grandchildren, just saying. And I did it wasn't IVF, just to be clear. For those of you trying to give me the benefit of the doubt. You can't make the deal with the devil because he never keeps his word. Trust Fannie Lou Hamer. Trust that strange aunt, uncle, non-binary, funny person in the family that said, well, I might as well find some kind of way to me. Even if it's not easy, it'll be me. Trust that I know some stuff about my life and you know some stuff about life. It's not just what's wrong if there was a wrong. It's what's right if there was a right. I've shared this before, but I want to share it again. It's a quote about despair. I respect despair as an emotion, but not an analysis. You can feel absolutely devastated about the situation and not assume this predicts outcome. I am in this body of a lineage that was stolen, ripped from its home, put on a ship where a high-class person had determined the loss of human beings and calculated that in stacking up bodies so that you could have enough to sell. The despair is in my bones. And what else is there? Hallelujah fucking anyhow. Because the people that put them on that ship could not have had this prediction. The people that put you in this situation did not predict this moment for you. And I believe neither can you. May we be with the ocean of compassion, the ocean of care, of love, of rebellious joy, of self-protection, of protection for this earth and our hearts. May we call in those protective practices. I have a prayer basket that fights against awareness of only what's happening with me. Y'all in it. The earth is in it. The children are in it. What's not in it is the call to fear, only praying for those of us that experience fearfulness, but also calling in that we ain't making no deals with no demons. We rebellious, we are of those that rebel against injustice and delusion. Ayesha bowing out. I'm going to play the sound bell for just a few seconds and then invite you to move into the wisdom, your wisdom of what you'd like to share.